What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, April 27th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 14:27 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Poland, Iran, Pakistan, and also from Canada. So we have some major breaking news coming in from Poland. I want to start with that first before I update you guys on the situation with Pakistan and India. So a Russian military helicopter of the Baltic Fleet violated Polish airspace on the evening of April 25th, the Polish military command said. Polish military radar systems and civilian systems of the Polish Air Navigation Services Agency tracked the aircraft over Poland's territorial waters in the Baltic Sea. The nature of the incident indicates that Russia is testing the readiness of our air defense systems, the statement of the Polish Armed Forces Operational Command said on X on April 26th. On-duty air defense forces and means remained on constant alert to ensure the security of Polish airspace, the command added. In connection with the violation of airspace, Polish air defense forces were placed on full combat alert. Okay, so this is very, very serious. A Russian military helicopter flying into Polish territorial airspace. So we're not just talking about a Russian military helicopter flying into Poland's exclusive economic zone. That's happened several times already. Now Russia has gone a step further and actually flown into Poland's territorial airspace. This should be on like every mainstream media outlet as a top headline. This is very, very serious, and we've seen Russia building up their military in Kaliningrad and in Belarus, right on the border of Poland and the Baltics. Poland is currently building the largest defense line in Europe since World War II. They're spending several $billions worth on these fortifications that are going to be as wide as up to 50 miles with layers of minefields and various types of trenches and fortifications, bunkers, etc. And what you're looking at here is two U.S. private reconnaissance planes that were patrolling the area around Kaliningrad, northern Poland, and the Baltics last night. So the U.S. and NATO are on very high alert after this incident. And I wanted to update you guys on the situation with the massive kaboom in Iran yesterday. Iran said that the death toll is now up to 25 people, and as many as 1,000 have been injured, according to the state-run IRNA news agency. Okay, so now we're hearing that this kaboom was caused by a large shipment of missile fuel from China that was stored improperly or handled improperly, and it went kaboom. Okay, so a missile propellant was being shipped from China to Iran for Iran to replenish their stocks of missiles that they used in strikes against Israel last year. And this is being reported by various credible sources, including the private security firm Ambry. They're saying that there was a shipment of sodium perchlorate rocket fuel, okay? And also the Financial Times reported that this was a shipment of rocket fuel as well, and it was the first part of a shipment of two. Okay, so this is very, very serious, guys. Ambry said the fire was reportedly the result of improper handling of a shipment of solid fuel intended for use in Iranian ballistic missiles. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. China is sending rocket fuel, solid rocket fuel to the Iranians for their missile program, okay? And we want to make a deal with them. Absolutely insane. And I wanted to update you guys on the situation with India and Pakistan. It's continuing to escalate over there. We have some video footage coming out of Pakistan now showing the Pakistani Air Force on high alert. They're flying their fighter jets. Apparently, this footage is coming from the SWAT Air Base in Pakistan. So let me just play this video for you. So you can see the fighter jet right there. Okay, Pakistani fighter jet. And then here's another one. This is at the SWAT Air Base in Pakistan. Apparently, people reported seeing these low-flying fighter jets at the air base and in the vicinity. So this looks like the runway at that air base. So that was two right there in the span of 30 seconds, okay? Absolutely insane. So Pakistan is gearing up for war. We also have some concerning video footage coming out of the Punjab province in the village of Gujranwala in Pakistan showing 203 millimeter artillery. Okay, so this is heavy artillery, long-range artillery. So we have a bunch of these trucks here. These are just utility trucks. You can actually see a fuel truck right here. That's a fuel truck. Okay, so you don't bring fuel trucks to an area unless you're preparing for a war. You can see soldiers standing around over there, Pakistani soldiers. And then you'll start to see the artillery now. These could already be the artillery pieces. Yep, there they are. So they're covering up the artillery guns with tarps, but you can see the muzzle right there pointing out over the cab of the truck. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's more. There's another one. Another one. Okay, look at all this artillery, guys. This is long-range heavy artillery, 203 millimeters, okay? You don't move all this equipment for no reason. There's more there. It's just absolutely insane buildup, okay? Look at all of this 203 millimeter artillery, absolutely insane. Okay, just in this one clip, looks like 24, okay? And the U.S. has deployed a B-52 strategic bomber to India, which is really interesting. Here we actually have some more footage of the buildup in Pakistan. You can see this massive convoy here, various types of military trucks probably carrying ammunition and various types of supplies. Just a massive convoy here, absolutely insane. And we're also hearing that the Indian Army has begun live artillery drills along the line of contact. Okay, so India has begun live artillery drills. And the Indian Express is reporting that after the terror attack, top Indian government sources say that military retaliation options have been considered, including striking from within India using attack drones. An unnamed source says there will be military retaliation and we are prepared. And then here we have some footage showing some small arms fire, or actually you can hear it in the background. This was last night along the border of Pakistan and India, and apparently last night was the third night in a row that there was small arms fire exchanged along the border of Pakistan and India. Okay, so this is a powder keg. And the Times of India is reporting that Pakistani Minister Hanif Abbasi openly threatened India with nuclear retaliation amid tensions after the Pahalgam attack. He stated that Pakistan has 130 Shaheen missiles. Those are their longer range ballistic missiles. They have a range of up to 2,700 kilometers in their newest version. And the Indian Army said that on the night of the 26th into the 27th of April of this year, the Pakistan Army initiated unprovoked small arms fire across the line of control in the areas opposite of Tutmari Gali and Rampur sectors. So that's what we were listening to just now. And the Pakistani Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held a telephone conversation, and the readout said both nations jointly opposed India's unilateralism and hegemonic policies and pledged to further their common goals of peace, security, and sustainable development. Interesting. So China and India also don't get along. So it looks like Pakistan and China are going to team up against India now. And the Iranian Foreign Ministry said that the issue of Iran's missile capabilities has not and will not be raised in talks with the U.S. So Iran does not want to discuss their missiles with the U.S. in these talks. And the IDF confirmed that a missile launched from Yemen was intercepted before entering Israeli territory last night. And Reuters is reporting that President Trump told reporters on Friday that he pushed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to allow food and medicine into Gaza, citing a significant need. Trump quoted himself telling Netanyahu, "We've got to be good to Gaza." Interesting. And we have some aerial refuelers here that went down to Qatar last night from the UK. Another sign that the US is building up for a massive conflict in the Middle East. And here we have some US C-17 Globemasters that went to India from Qatar. Very interesting. So the U.S. must have dropped off some weapons or some kind of supplies to India because of the situation with Pakistan. Okay, so here's this one C-17 that landed up here in northern India. And then there was another one that went to northern India as well. So that's pretty interesting. And the son of a senior CIA official died last year while fighting in Ukraine, according to a CIA spokesperson. And Zelensky, Trump, Macron, and Starmer spoke together on the sidelines of Pope Francis's funeral. Zelensky said after the meeting with Trump that it was a good meeting, one-on-one. We managed to discuss a lot. We hope for a result from all the things that were said. Protection of the lives of our people, complete and unconditional ceasefire, reliable and lasting peace that will prevent a recurrence of war, a very symbolic meeting that has the potential to become historic if we achieve joint results. Thank you, President Trump. That's what Zelensky said. And the Vatican broke protocol to seat Zelensky next to Trump and Macron during the funeral, apparently. Typically, world leaders are seated alphabetically by their country names in French. Zelensky was supposed to sit somewhere in the third row, but he was seated in the front row right next to Trump. Very interesting. And what you're looking at here is some before and after footage of this massive munitions depot in Russia, right outside of Moscow in the Vladimir region, that was hit by Ukrainian drones or possibly even Storm Shadow missiles or NATO cruise missiles. And you can clearly see that this entire munitions depot was destroyed for the most part. And this is a massive depot. It's one of Russia's largest. Apparently over 100,000 tons of munitions were stored here. You can see all these little buildings here. These structures are actually bunkers. Each one of those bunkers has various types of munitions in them. But you can see here, after the strike, pretty much 75% of these bunkers were taken out. So I don't know if drones could do something like this. It seems like you would need some kind of a bunker busting missile to do that. So I don't know, but this whole base is 1.5 miles wide. Okay, so it looks kind of small when you're looking at it from an aerial view, but this is 1.5 miles wide. So it's a large complex here, okay? And Putin is apparently ready for negotiations with Ukraine directly, according to the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov. And Trump criticized Putin, saying that Putin had no reason to fire missiles at civilian areas, cities, and towns over the past few days. So now Trump is pissed off at Putin for attacking civilians the past few days. And Gerasimov, the top general in Russia, reported to Putin that apparently Russia liberated the entire Kursk region. Ukraine is saying that that's not true. Gerasimov said that the Ukrainian armed forces lost more than 76,000 servicemen in battles in the Kursk region. Gerasimov said that North Korean fighters demonstrated high professionalism in liberating the Kursk region from the Ukrainian armed forces. And Maria Zakharova, the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman, confirmed that North Korean soldiers did take part in the operation to liberate the Kursk Oblast. And late last night, there was some type of a strange situation in Vancouver, Canada, where a mentally ill person drove his vehicle into a crowd of people at the Lapu Lapu Festival. Apparently, as many as 11 people have been killed and dozens injured, and that number is expected to climb. The Vancouver police chief, Steve Ray, said that this is the darkest day in our city's history. Wow. Okay, what a crazy weekend, the crazy past couple of days between Pakistan and India and Ukraine and Russia. Russia launching a massive missile attack on Ukraine's cities, and then we had the funeral for Pope Francis. There's so much going on. And late last night off the coast of Baja California, we had about half a dozen U.S. aerial refuelers. Not sure what they were doing over here, but this is extremely unusual for a Saturday night. So I don't know if they're practicing for an attack on the cartels in this area, and they're practicing aerial refueling of various types of aerial assets that would be needed, but this is very unusual. And then here we have a picture of Trump, Starmer, Macron, and Zelensky hanging out on the sidelines of the Pope's funeral. It's always so funny to see these world leaders shaking hands and joking and smiling when they trash each other and, say nasty things about each other. And then suddenly they're just hanging out and smiling. Like, for example, here's Trump and Zelensky. I mean, they're just having like a very normal conversation. And just a few months ago, they were yelling at each other in the Oval Office. It's just really bizarre to me. And it just really makes you wonder about the conspiracies related to the Bilderbergs and the Illuminati, and whether all these world leaders are just putting on a show for us, and it's like a giant soap opera that we're watching. And then here you can see Zelensky and Trump in the first row here, and there's the Pope's casket, and then here's Zelensky with Macron. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I might be back later on tonight with another update, either as a video or a live update. Tune into my 24/7 live stream to listen to our nuclear forces on the radio and also to get continuing updates. Also, check out my app. It's available in the Google Play Store, and you can download it for your Apple iPhone as well. There's links in the description below this video. With my app, I can send out notifications to you. When there's urgent breaking news, you get notifications directly to your phone. Okay, so download those. They're 100% free. You can also follow me on Telegram and Twitter. The links are in the description below this video. Check out my Patreon. It's just $3 a month. You get access to all these breaking news updates and emergency alerts with 0 advertisements. And I also post all my updates over there first before I post them to YouTube. So until later on, have a good Sunday afternoon. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.